for my honor and glory, for the world to see that a nation, my chosen people, would come out of persecution, come out of bond service, come out of being slaves, and build again the temple of God to tell the world that I've never left you and I've never forsaken you. You're still my people. Notice this. And I'm still God of the Holy of Holies. I've never left. That's the declaration that was going to happen here when they build the temple. I've never left. I'm still God on the throne. And I can do what no other God can do. I can bring a nation back from bondage, put them back in the land, build a temple, and resurrect the nation all over again. He did it then. He did it in the 1940s. And He'll do it to completion again in the millennial reign. And all of this is a beacon to the world saying God is the one true God.
Amen.
The building was a declaration to the world. It wasn't the sacrifices that God needed. Understand that, right? Because in 1 Samuel 15 and 22, God's Word says to obey is better than sacrifice, right? It was the obedience of God's people that He was looking for. It was the obedience of God's people that He was looking for. So turn to Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. How do we apply it to our life? We know this verse. We talked about it. I believe I read it last Sunday. I'm going to read it again. But you can see it, mark it down, and read the passage. Matthew 6, chapter 5, verse 16. Sorry. Let your light so shine. Let your light so shine before men. Right? They may see your good works. What does He say, so shine? All these are so important. Let your light shine in such a way that. Okay? That's the same thing. That's the reason He says it the way He says it. Let your light, that is what God does through you, shine in such a way that all men see your good works. Now, we're not doing it for man's glory. We're doing it for God's glory. We do the work of God, the way of God, and the world will take notice. That's what this project is about this week. Doing the work of God, the way of God. What do I mean by that? We're doing what God asked us to do. Help the widows, help the ones without any authority, help the elderly. We're to try to do pure religion, as James talks about, pure religion, undefiled, for nothing. We don't want anything in return. I don't want them to come to our church necessarily. If they want to come to our church, great. But we're doing it in a place where they're really too far away to even come all the way over here. Okay? We're not asking for anything in return. We don't want anything in return. We don't want them to pay tithes. We don't want them to do anything. But that's not what we want. I so much enjoy. Anyway. I so much enjoy going and do the work of God for God without pay, without recognition. I like that better because it's pure before God. I don't care if anybody knows. I like going and working with people they don't know. I like that better because it's between me and God. And it's good. Now, you say, John, we could really make it that way here. We don't have to pay you at all. Do what you want. This is your church. This is our church. Do what you want. If you don't pay, it's fine. I don't care. Because God has placed me here. And I'll be here till God takes me away from here.
Amen.
Okay? And so, and that recognition, if church, listen, I've always believed this, and I believe it to this day. If the church decides, as a whole, they don't want to pay, that's between them and God. God will deal with them, and I don't have to worry about it. God will take care of me as long as I'm doing His work, His way, and in His time.
Amen. That's right. That's right.
Don't worry about it. God's got something for me. God's always got something for His people that will do His work. Why do I say that? We're going to see that in the text. God always takes care of His people. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Let's look at that. I've already referenced it. Let's go there. We need to go there. It's important to go there. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11 to 15. We need to move on. I've got hung up on some things. This is important because we don't realize that Hezekiah's situation in Israel is so compatible So compatible. Of course, I believe God does this on purpose. He made it to where we understand this compatible with our spiritual walk with Him even today. Okay? Even today. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11 through verse... Let me read the whole thing, but... listen, especially youth, you better mark this place in your Bible. You need to mark it. If you don't have this marked, shame on you. Okay? Mark that up. Very important passage in Scripture. First, the whole chapter 3. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to 9. For ye are laborers together with God. You're God's husbandry. You're His vineyard. You're His orchard. You're something He tends to. He looks after. He prunes. He wants you to produce fruit. Glorify Him. Ye are God's, notice this, building. You're God's building. Ye. Now, we can talk about this in the scope of the church even here, okay? Because the context allows us to. But his context is about to get very specific to the individual. It's about to get very specific to the individual. And that's very important. He says, according to the grace of God which is given unto me as a wise master builder. Paul now is talking about his role in building the church as a wise master builder. He was called an apostle to go and to grow and to plant churches in different places. He was a missionary, right? So then he now is talking about his role. And he goes, I laid a foundation, another builds thereon. A church gets started, another pastor comes in and he builds and he works in the church, right? And so he says, but let every man, now we're at the individual, now we've changed gears. Let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. Notice this. For other foundation can no man lay that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. The foundation that is within you is Jesus Christ. Only if you're saved. If you're not saved, you have no foundation. You're foundationless. If you're a child of God, Jesus has laid a foundation within your heart. Jesus has laid a foundation within you. And no man can change it. He talks about that. You've already been gone through the fires of testing. You will come out. You will be fine. Hell is not something you have to worry about. But that's not the point of the passage. The point of the passage is serving God in a church as an individual. That's the point of the passage. He says this, now if any man no other foundation can be... For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made known, manifest, for the day, the judgment day, shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. The fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Remember, we're talking about people on the go, people doing the work of God, right? And had God said, the foundation's there, go get wood. Build on this thing. Put something on it. What's God telling us today? The foundation's there. Christ is there. Build on it. Wood, hay, stubble, gold, silver, precious stones. We've got some things to put on it. Now, we want to put on it that which is precious, that which will be eternal, not that which is temporary, right? Okay. So, notice it. He says, now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made known, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. The fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Not every man, right? Every man's work. Right? Every man's work. Specifically what we do. When I go before Christ, I will not be judged upon who I am, but what I have done for Him. Because who I am, I'm His son already. I've been born again. I'm His son.
Amen.
That's laid. The foundation has been laid. Notice it. He says, if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. I missed out. I missed out on what God had for me in eternity. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. And I ask you, what kind of foundation is Jesus Christ? What kind of foundation is He? What does He call Himself in the Word of God? This is your time.
Rock.
He is the rock. He is the cornerstone. What? Do rocks burn? No. Do cornerstones burn? No. When these houses burn up around here, I can go to every one of them, and if they have a foundation that has been laid, of concrete. Everything else will burn up on it, but that foundation is still there.
Amen.
Now, what you put on it determines how much is left. Because when that building burns, there may be some brick left, and there may be some metal left. Let me tell you what's not left. The carpet's gone. Some of us say, yeah, right. The carpet's gone. The wood's gone. The blinds are gone. And anything that's plastic is gone. What I'm saying is we need to be focused on some things that are eternal. Some things that are eternal. We're to build up the house. How is your spiritual temple with God today? Is it in disrepair? How is it? Turn back to our text, if you would, to Haggai. Look with me. Again, starting again at verse 9, he says, "For you looked for much, and lo, it came to little. When you brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why, saith the Lord of hosts? Because of mine house that is waste, and you run every man unto his own house. Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew, the earth is stayed from her fruit. I called for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all labor of hands." He said, I called for it. Get that? God called for it. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. The problem was very simple. Israel didn't realize the giant carbon footprint that they put out there, and therefore climate change has caused all their problems, and they can't grow harvest.
No. Not hard.
That's a joke. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. Because your carbon footprint doesn't have that big an impact on the environment, friend. God's got the big impact on the environment.
Amen.
And if God withholds rain, there is not going to be any rain. And if God gives us a lot of rain, there's going to be floods. Do you understand? The world is going to be looking for excuses to say, well, the cost of this has gone up, the cost of that's gone up because of this nature, this problem, and they don't realize God's in control of these things. And I'm not saying for one second, only here to say that John says we can do whatever we want, however we want. No, we've got to be smart. We're not called to be dumb. And we're not called to not take care of things around us. But the reality is this. Ultimately, God is in control of our weather and situations that we deal with. And if He sends a drought, He sends a drought. If He sends a flood, He'll send a flood. What they did was what the world expects of you and I today. They did everything that the world said they should do to get wealthy and increase in goods. That's what He lists for us. That's what He listed for us. He said, you look for much, and lo, it came little. In other words, you had planted, you had sown, you had tilled more land, you put out more levees. And I'm not talking about the levees that hold the flood back. I'm thinking Humboldt. And all the levees, all those fields are levied and zero graded, and all this work is done. And every year, every one of those farmers will come up to you and say, John, pray for rain or don't pray for rain, because if God doesn't give it or God does give it, everything is dependent upon what God does. And they understand a little bit more of that because they realize it doesn't matter how many levees you put up or where you pour concrete or what you do. At the end of it all depends upon His will and not our own.
Amen.
They had done everything they could according to the world's standard, and they still were hungry. They were drinking and not quenching their thirst. Why? Because God had taken away their ability to be satisfied. In America today, do you hear what I'm trying to say? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? We have lost our ability to be satisfied with what God has given.
Amen.
We eat and we drink and we're not full and we're still thirsty. We're clothed, but we're upset with our clothing. We're housed, but we're upset with our houses. We've got all this stuff and we're not satisfied. Why? God has taken away from us the ability to be content. I understand that. I mean, I didn't know. We look back at our lives. We look back at our families when we were young, and we go, man, I ate beans and taters straight for months at a time, and I was full and satisfied and happy, and there was peace in my home, and we didn't have anything. Because God had given the peace, and God had given the satisfaction, because we rested in Him.
That's right. Amen.
But listen, we've lost it. And if you've lost it today, God is saying you've lost it because the temple is in disrepair. Your temple is in disrepair. I was going to bring in Ezekiel here. We'll past that. Ezekiel is when God miraculously, marvelously institutes His millennial reign, and the tree yields her fruit, the earth yields her good, the heavens yield its good in its time. Everything begins to work in order again because God ordained it. And understand this. Understand this. This is so important. God ordains it. Now, note, listen to me. Listen so carefully to me, or you're going to miss something so important in God's Word. When does God ordain this? In the millennial reign, right? He sets things back right. What is the millennial reign? What is the prefix to the millennial reign? The tribulation, in which all things are in disrepair. All things are in disaster, where there's most of the green things are burned up, the waters are polluted, all of these problems happen, and the world goes, it's chaos, and they look at God and they say, God, it's your fault, right? Look at all this, it's in ruin, and then God steps up, and He does His judgment, and He comes down to earth, and He goes, boom, it's all back to right.
Amen.
Because He can do it just like that.
That's right.
He is revealing the world. He's showing something to us. He's preparing us for that day where the world goes, what is wrong with this? What is going on? We're all going to die. We're all doomed. And God goes, boom, fixed, got it. All in a moment. That's incredible. That is when God shows up. Incredible. It's incredible. The question is, again, are we ready for that? Then dealing with personal preparation. Wednesday night, we're going through Judges. We're in Judges 6, dealing with Gideon. And the people are in sin. And God sends a prophet and He says, do you know why you're struggling? Do you know why you're poor? Do you know why? He goes, because you've rejected my ways. You've turned your back from me. You've rejected me. And then an angel shows up before Gideon. And listen carefully, because there's so much in Gideon's life. The angel shows up before Gideon. He says, hail, you mighty man of valor. God is with you. And he goes, God is with me. If God was with me, why am I dealing with the Midianites? What's the big deal? What's the problem? The angel looks at him and he goes, God chose you. And I'm summarizing, but he goes, God chose you. You should know the problem. The prophet just came by and he told you what the problem was. And God chose you to get this problem fixed. So we say, John, what can we do to fix it? God chose you. You're here. You're breathing. Your temple can be repaired by seeking Him now. Seeking Him now. Putting the message into action. Let's read this and let's close. Verse 12. Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Josedech, the high priest. So we've got Zerubbabel and Josedech. That's the governor and that's the high priest. They go, we are going to fix it. That's basically what they say. They hear Haggai and they say, let's get on this. Let's do this. And so the high priest and all the remnant of the people obeyed the voice of the Lord their God. They heard the word of God. They obeyed the voice and the words of Haggai the prophet. The Lord their God had sent him, and the people did fear before the Lord. What do I mean by that? I mean simply, they finally got it in their heads. That which is important takes precedence over that which seems so urgent, our crops. God's temple is the most important. More important than what we thought was so urgent. And so God, they put things in proper perspective. God is preeminent. They did fear before the Lord. Then spake Haggai, the Lord's messenger, and the Lord's message unto the people, saying, listen carefully, I am with you, saith the Lord. Very short message here. Very short message here. When God's people see God as the most important, and His temple is the most important, His dwelling is the most important, God looks down at us and says, don't worry, you'll never walk alone in this. I am with you. That's good. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, the spirit of Joshua, the son of Josedech, the high priest, the spirit of the remnant of the people. And they came and did the work in the house of the Lord of hosts their God, in the 4th and 20th day of the 6th month, and the 2nd year of Darius the king. 24 days is all it took for them to get organized. When they finally realized what was the most important, it took them literally 24 days to get organized, start on the job. God looks at them, sends Haggai back to them, and he says, tell them very quickly, very succinctly, I am with you. I'll help you. You know, I hope you know it today. You cannot outgive God. You can't outbless God. He will help you when you set your eyes upon Him. When you set your eyes upon Him. Let's stand and have a hymn of invitation. A hymn of invitation as we close. How is the temple of God within you? How is the temple of God within you? I hope that you heard something today that stirs up in you the importance of walking close to the Lord. And I say this as, what number are we going to say?
480 on the trust.
480. I say this as we close. Realize something today, especially adults, all of you adults. I'm talking to you explicitly. I'm not talking to kids at this moment. I'm talking just to adults. Listen to me. When 5 o'clock comes and you clock out of your job and you come home, listen, you left, at that point, you left your part-time job. That is your part-time job. You're going back to your full-time job. Your full-time job is with your family. Your full-time job is your spouse and your children. That's your full-time job. The thing that you do to pay the bills, that is completely part-time, because one day that's going to be gone.
That's right.
That's gone. Your family is forever. And your church family is forever. Those are the most important things. Do you hear what I'm saying today? If we miss it with our children, and we miss it with our grandchildren, if we miss it with our spouse, we've missed it. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, a billionaire. If you miss those things, you missed it. Don't miss the important things because of the urgent. Let's have an invitation.
400 page 480.
All
before the church and ask the church if he can join as a member. A letter from Shannon Road Baptist Church. What's the will of the church?
Make motion to accept.
Amen. Amen. All those in favor, let me know by hallelujah. Amen. So praise God. Jimmy's going to come over here with me to the back, and you come by, hug his neck, tell him you love him, praying for him, and we're just excited to have him here.
Amen.
Right. Love you, man.
Praise God.
All right. Anything else before dismiss? If not, Lord willing, I'll see you soon. Maybe Lord willing tonight. And for the youth, I'll see youth that are able to come here at 1 o'clock. We'll leave at 1 o'clock-ish. And so be safe, be careful. Donnie, would you dismiss the word of prayer, please, brother?
Father, we thank you again for this beautiful Lord today, this opportunity to have to come